What if everything you thought was real was just a carefully crafted illusion? What if the world you experience isn't objective truth, but a selective construct built from your beliefs, identity, and subconscious programming? The reality you navigate every day is not the whole picture. It's merely a thin slice of what's possible, a fraction of what exists. The way you see yourself, others, and the world isn't necessarily the way things are, but the way you've been conditioned to perceive them. We like to believe we're logical, rational creatures who make decisions based on facts and reason. But the truth is, most of our thoughts, reactions, and choices are driven by deep-seated mental programs we didn't consciously choose. From the moment we're born, we are shaped by a complex network of influences: family, culture, religion, media, education, and authority figures, all of which mold our perception of reality. Without realizing it, we inherit beliefs about who we are, what's possible, and how the world works. Over time, these beliefs become invisible chains dictating our thoughts and actions without our awareness. Your identity is not just who you are, it's who you believe yourself to be. And that belief is essentially a product of programming. If you were raised to believe that success is only for the privileged, you will subconsciously filter out opportunities that contradict that belief. If you were told from a young age that the world is dangerous and full of threats, you will perceive danger even in safe situations. The subconscious mind works like a filter, selecting information that reinforces existing narratives while rejecting anything that challenges them. The mechanism behind this illusion is both powerful and deceptive. Your mind does not process reality in its entirety. Instead, it takes in an overwhelming flood of sensory data and filters out the vast majority, only allowing in what aligns with your pre-existing beliefs and identity. This filtering process is handled by the Reticular Activating System, RAS, a bundle of neurons in the brainstem responsible for determining what information reaches your conscious awareness. The RAS ensures that what you perceive is consistent with what you already believe, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of perception. This is why two people can witness the same event and walk away with entirely different interpretations. One person sees a police officer and feels safe. Another sees the same officer and feels threatened. One person sees a successful entrepreneur and feels inspired. Another sees the same individual and feels resentful. It's not the external reality that differs. It's the internal programming shaping the interpretation of that reality. The danger of this illusion is that it makes us prisoners of our own minds. We mistake our perception for objective truth, never questioning that we might be seeing only a narrow slice of what's possible. The more we reinforce a belief, the more real it becomes, not because it is inherently true, but because our subconscious ensures that all evidence points in its favor. If you believe that you're not good enough, your subconscious will highlight every failure and dismiss every success. If you believe that the world is against you, your subconscious will find proof of oppression and ignore any evidence to the contrary. But here's the good news. If your perception of reality is shaped by beliefs, identity, and subconscious programming, then it can also be reshaped. The first step to breaking free from the illusion is to recognize that you are living in one. The world isn't what it seems, and neither are you. You are not your programming. You are not your past, and you are certainly not the sum of other people's expectations. The road to freedom begins when you challenge the assumptions that have been handed to you and start seeing reality for what it truly is, a limitless field of possibility waiting to be claimed by those willing to break the illusion. Thin-sliced reality, why we only experience a fraction of what is possible. Have you ever wondered why two individuals can witness the same event yet come away with entirely different perceptions? The answer lies in the reality that our brains and senses only process a thin slice of what's truly available. Reality, in its vast complexity, is continuously unfolding around us, but our conscious awareness captures only a tiny fragment at any given time. Think about it this way. Your brain is bombarded with millions of bits of sensory data every second, yet it consciously processes only a handful. This filtering is managed by the subconscious mind and specifically the Reticular Activating System, RAS, a mechanism designed to streamline information so we're not overwhelmed. While this selective perception is efficient, it significantly narrows our experience of reality, limiting our awareness to what aligns with our current beliefs and expectations. This thin slicing doesn't merely simplify our world, it actively restricts it. Opportunities for growth, deeper understanding, and personal fulfillment often remain unnoticed simply because they exist outside our familiar frames of reference. Each missed possibility, each ignored pathway, represents an aspect of life and potential that remains unexplored. Recognizing this limitation is crucial, especially if you value clarity, effectiveness, and authentic personal freedom. By becoming conscious of this narrowed perception, you open yourself to experiences beyond habitual thought patterns. Expanding your awareness means acknowledging countless opportunities, insights, and realities remain unseen until you actively choose to broaden your lens. Ultimately, stepping beyond the thin slice of reality we habitually perceive unlocks doors to profound possibilities, enabling us to live more fully and meaningfully. It's a necessary step on the road to genuine freedom, a road that many will never travel, but one that leads to unparalleled personal empowerment. The hidden forces of influence. How society, authority, and media shape our thoughts without our awareness. We like to believe we're independent thinkers, confidently steering our lives based on personal convictions and free will. Yet, lurking beneath the surface, subtle forces are constantly at play, forces that significantly influence our thoughts, decisions, and beliefs without us even noticing. These hidden powers are embedded deeply in society, authority structures, and media channels, working quietly and continuously to mold our perceptions of reality. Society, through traditions, social norms, and cultural expectations, creates invisible boundaries we instinctively avoid crossing. From childhood, we're taught what's acceptable, admirable, or shameful, and these lessons quietly steer our choices into predictable patterns. The drive to fit in and be accepted often overrides our inner voice, subtly convincing us to suppress individuality in favor of conformity. Authority figures, be they political leaders, religious figures, educators, or even celebrities, hold immense power in shaping public perception. By leveraging our natural tendency to trust, they can significantly influence our views and behaviors. This influence can be positive, guiding society toward order and stability, but it can also be exploited, steering the masses toward agendas that serve the interests of the few rather than the many. Perhaps most pervasive of all is the media's invisible hand. We live in a world saturated with information, constantly fed by a 24-hour news cycle, social media streams, and endless digital distractions. Each headline, image, or narrative subtly nudges our perspective, emotions, and reactions, often bypassing our conscious analysis. The stories we're told and the way they're framed can dramatically alter our perception of reality, highlighting certain truths while conveniently obscuring others. As much as media manipulates us, we manipulate ourselves by the selective choices we make. We choose what we consume, though seldom consciously. Our subconscious is at work bringing to our attention what aligns with our beliefs and hides what does not. This hidden web of influence isn't a conspiracy. It's the natural outcome of living in an interconnected society. Yet the danger lies in our lack of awareness. When we remain oblivious to these subtle influences, we unknowingly give away our personal power, allowing external forces to dictate our realities. The path to genuine freedom demands that we pull back the curtain, shining a clear light on these hidden influences. Only then can we reclaim our thoughts, beliefs, and choices, moving from unconscious compliance toward intentional creation and authentic sovereignty. The path to freedom, reclaiming personal sovereignty through awareness, responsibility, and intentional creation. Personal sovereignty, the cornerstone of true freedom, demands courage and clarity. It requires recognizing the invisible chains that society, culture, and even our own subconscious impose upon us. Yet reclaiming sovereignty is not a rebellion against external authority. It is a return to the internal authority that has always been ours. Freedom begins with awareness. It is the critical first step of acknowledging how our thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions are often influenced, even controlled, without our conscious consent. Most individuals navigate life reacting to situations without ever questioning the scripts they follow. To regain sovereignty, you must step back, observe, and consciously question the origins of your beliefs and choices. True freedom arises from the clarity of seeing what was previously hidden, recognizing how your reality is constructed by subconscious expectations and societal conditioning. Next comes responsibility, the deliberate act of owning your experiences. To embrace responsibility means acknowledging that you are not merely a passive recipient of life's events, but a co-creator actively shaping your reality. Rather than surrendering your power to external circumstances or waiting for permission, you take ownership of every aspect of your life. This responsibility extends not just to your actions, but to your thoughts, feelings, and the energy you bring into every interaction. Only through radical self-honesty can you shed victimhood and step firmly onto the path of empowerment. Intentional creation is the final pillar. Once aware and responsible, you must deliberately choose what you wish to create. Intention sets the direction of your journey and aligns your internal compass with your desired outcome. By consciously directing your mental focus and emotional energy, you shape your reality from the inside out. Rather than reacting to life, you become its deliberate architect. This practice involves consistently aligning your actions with your core values, fostering a congruent life that naturally leads to the fulfillment and freedom you seek. In walking the path to freedom, remember it is less about escaping constraints and more about embodying your truth. This path is not easy, nor is it meant to be. Personal sovereignty is reserved for those willing to face the unknown, confront internal resistance, and continually choose authenticity over comfort. It is a road seldom taken, but for those who tread it with conviction, the reward is the ultimate freedom, mastery of oneself, and the creation of a life of profound purpose and intentionality.